everybody. It's
Hi.
12151.
And it's Empress. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Christmas break and vacation. This is the last day of Christmas break, and then we'll have a couple days. We'll be back at New Year's again. So congratulations, celebrations, everything. We are here doing a review of RHOA, and this is season 7, episode 8.
Yeah.
I think it's episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so we start off with Phaedra and her mother, and they're just kind of having mother-daughter chatting about what's going on in the household. Pretty much she's venting, and mother's just helping her out and getting her through.
Yeah, they're talking about Phaedra's sort of giving her the highlights of what happened the night where they were at the club and Apollo showed up. And I'm sorry, folks, or for whatever or whatever, but I am Team Phaedra on this all the way. Yeah. In as far as her and Apollo's inability to communicate, those conversations of you and I and us and moving forward or backwards or whatever we're going to do needs to happen at the house, not at the club. Now, yes, they said that she wasn't talking, but evidently from her side, who's the only side that we're really hearing at this point, every time they get into talking, he wants to point the finger. But that's not the solution. And it's not too far from me to think, because if he went and committed crimes like this, shows me the level of immaturity that he operates out of. So that seems like conversations he would have. Mama didn't try to give her like a lot of strong advice, but she was just being supportive. So that was just simple mother-daughter talk.
Yeah, she didn't try to come in and, you better leave and lock the doors.
Right. Where do we go from there?
Then we get to Nene. We get to see what she is doing. I like her hair. Don't like the dye room.
No,
hair.
Girl. That dye room hair with the down and around, it is a nightmare. I'm surprised that they're still on there, but I guess they've already filmed, so they can't take it out. Horrible. But she's meeting with Portia and deciding that Portia and Kandi and her and Cynthia need to have a conversation together, or drink or lunch or something. Kind of dull, very short. It seems like they are trying to squeeze in everybody in an episode, except for Demetria. We didn't get to see her, but we talked a lot about Roger Bob again. They said that name. I started to count, but I got sick of it. But so we move on to Kandi and her mother and her 2 aunts.
Yeah, they were chatting about what happened with Sharon, that's Todd's mother, when they were at New York.
Let me just say this. First of all, Kandi is starting too much shit. I mean, I always knew, if you ever watched the show, that Kandi was a shit starter. Mm-hmm. But she was kind of down low or in the diary room or behind your back, and now she's sitting right out there. Yeah. And so she's asked by one of the aunts, did she see Sharon? Mm-hmm. Which obviously she saw Sharon. She went there with her husband in his hometown, so she's going to see his mama at some point. Right. And then Kandi volunteers that Sharon said she was going to punch Mama Joyce in the face and all of that. And she's telling us how she wouldn't know whether she agree with her mother or not. Nobody's going to punch her in the face. And I'm telling you another thing, too. Just side note. She was talking about a house key. Yeah. Now, you want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a house for your mother, and she won't give you a key to your house?
Right. It's yours.
This is not about asking your mommy's permission. We are grown-ass women, and this is about getting your key. Right. That's the bottom line. Taking out your mama's hand, taking the extra key off, giving her the rest, what have you. You've got it for emergencies, or it's your house. God forbid if she pass away. Right. No. Right. You've got a key, or what's her daughter's name? Riley. Riley needs a key to get in and out. She's got one. And the mama is talking about she's not giving her a key, Kandi a key, until she get a key to Kandi house. That's not how that works. No. Absolutely not. What she need to be walking up in Kandi's house for? No. Kandi bought her house. She bought the house Mama Joyce used to live in. She bought her own house. she bought your new house. So, bitch, please. That's crazy.
Very much so.
That's a non-conversation to me. I would get mama real straight, or you can stay right in the house I put you in, or go back to the one you came from, however which way it got to go. Kandi, with her mother, allows herself to be abused and mistreated and stomped on and everything else, and that's all okay. She'll exaggerate what she said, or she talks so slick to somebody. No, she didn't. No. To make it sound like she's the big bad wolf, and we all have seen through, above, beneath, and around her. Girl, stop. Nevertheless, they go on to talk about the play. Right now, they don't know, I guess, that it wasn't never going to happen, but they started talking about that. But that was a bunch of bull. Yeah. It was a bullshit conversation, and ain't nobody gonna be fighting or tripping and all that kind of stuff. So
no. And personally, I feel like it's kind of tasteless that they're showing any of this, knowing that Sharon has died. So why are we having this conversation?
It's scenes that are so separated from the whole show. They could have easily cut those out. As far as I'm concerned, they want to take the time. Spend a couple extra coins to do somebody right, but they don't give a fuck. So, bravo. Then we move on to a scene, a lame ass scene with Kandi and what's her name? Claudia.
Cynthia and Claudia.
Yeah, Cynthia and Claudia, and Cynthia connects her with Derek J to bump her hair up or her weave up or whatever. It's cute afterwards. She don't need a whole lot, but Cynthia's painting a picture like she's got to be spectacular each and every day.
Right.
And who does that, And she was saying that Claudia's one of these pretty girls. All she needs is the chapstick and go. Well, if she look good with chapstick and go, then, hey, do you.
It's really none of your business.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. And so I'm not sure where that's coming from. But she's saying that since Kandi is a model, that she can be disrespectful to her. I guess is what it boils down to.
That's what it seems like. She was throwing tons of shade, and Claudia's, she's giving constructive criticism, and I won't say anything.
And speaking of shade, Nene first walked in the door with shade. She walks into the little Westateria restaurant, which we don't know why she's going or whatever, and she says to the maitre d', I'm looking for a girl with a lot of weave in her hair. I'm like, what? That is so wrong. He pointed right at Portia though, but still, come on, Nene. Really, really. But that's her.
More shade. Derek J's talking to Cynthia about the meeting. He's like, don't bring Peter. Everybody trashes Peter. Lou Peter, as we call him.
Right. Because everybody know Peter want to be in the thick of it and try to act like he can't stand it when it gets dull. That's in his walk away. But anyways, so we go from that to Kandi and Todd talking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my prediction. You all have seen a wedding of theirs on national TV and them meeting on the show. You're going to see a divorce or a separation or both on this show as well. So they get together and Kandi starts talking about that she hooked up with her mom and aunties, and they were talking about seeing Sharon in New York and Sharon punching her mother and all this, and how they're going to do the holidays. And so they're kind of bickering back and forth, but then Todd says, you know what, Thanksgiving, I'll go with my mom and I'll go to New York and do it there, and you can have Thanksgiving here. Right. That was really a surprise to me because they're newlyweds. They've only been together a couple, 2-3 years. So, but he's the first one to say, you know what, I'll go and do something else, because I'm sure he has other things that he can do. Kandi, you think you're the bomb because you got some pennies, but he can make pennies too.
Right.
But anyways, what happens from there? What happens in the conversation?
Basically, Todd's upset that Kandi is voluntarily telling every little conversation that they have with each other, and he finds it disrespectful that she's going and telling his mother's business to her mom.
Right.
Like, why can't we just have a conversation between us and just leave it that way?
And then Kandi says, and can't even look in the camera, mind you, because, the camera is the truth, and says, well, your mama told me to tell her. Be sure to tell her. Listen, there's a thing called discernment.
Right.
That you decide,
you know better.
I'm going to say these things to my mother, or I'm going to not hurt her feelings, not keep the mess going, and just say, well, she asked about you, and we can move on with the conversation.
Pretty much.
Period. So that we can get to a healing. Because after all, we're family.
Right.
But they are clearly a family pulling apart. As they're talking about this, Candy's saying that she doesn't understand why they've got to be separate. Todd and her have to be separated.
Right.
And he said that, you know what, honestly, I don't want to be in your mom's company. I'm tired of bending over backwards and trying to be the nice guy. And I don't blame him. If a guy is doing that all the time because you're so deeply in love with your mama, that's the guy you're not going to have. You mark my words. I've been living this world a long enough time to see dudes come and go, and for the reasons why. When you are overly close to your kids or overly close to your parents, but you're 30, 40, whatever, there's a problem there.
Yeah.
Because you are thoroughly grown. You're not going anywhere backwards. And you're supposed to, according to the Bible, is to cleave to your spouse and let your family go, your mother and your father go. And she clearly is not cleaving.
No.
I don't think she has any idea how to let go. And I'm sure it was great, and Mama Joyce was great to be with her and nurture her or protect her out in this screwed up music industry and all of that kind of thing. But that's been a long time ago.
Right.
You know, it's time for her to unlatch her thing, because even Mama Joyce got her own man. So she's living to these tapes or these rules and regulations that don't even exist anymore.
Right.
So ultimately, in that conversation with Kandi and Todd, Kandi is like, well, do what you want to do, whatever. And she gets up. She said, bye. Yeah. And he was like, bye what? Mm-hmm. You know, like, you're not throwing me out.
Right.
And she said, well, I'm going to leave. She got up and started walking away. And he was saying, that's the problem. Every time we have a tough conversation or we get angry, you walk away. And she said, I'm just trying to walk away from a fight. And he said something slick.
She said whatever to her, and she was trying to mumble stuff.
Mm-hmm. And walked on away. I'm telling you, don't do your marriage on TV. Big mistake. If he's going to be on, have him way back in the cut somewhere. And every now and then he shows up for the parties and the happy times, and be on your business. Yeah. Because if you're sitting up talking to him about all your business, we're going to see that at some time. Right. If he's sharing the diary room with you, we're going to see that. If y'all got issues, we're going to see that. Mm-hmm. You might have started one way with all these hopes and dreams and stuff, but when you start putting too much of your marriage out there and trying to play the tough guy, a tough girl, and don't want to give or not willing to compromise or whatever the things are, that's a marriage in trouble. So you're watching it, a marriage in trouble. So please don't sleep on that.
I really don't. And I can say, perfect example, Nene and Greg. Greg stays out of it most of the time, and we do see him come in sometimes or helping Nene get somewhere or whatever. But we don't see him like Peter. He all in the tea. And he's in the diary room. You know, he sits back and he does his thing.
Right. So we're going to finally jump ahead to what we all had to wait for. Besides these little nuggets, he had little nuggets of drama. Yeah. Or something of interest, just little nuggets, because overall it was kind of dull. Yeah. But it ended up with the girls meeting out to eat. Yeah. And they get together, and I guess the first conversation starts between Cynthia and Nene.
Yeah. Both of them were just like, okay, we want to squash this. You know, we should be able to apologize and be cool and all that kind of stuff, but Nene was kind of closed off. She wasn't really for it. Cynthia was trying to be cutesy and you know, be nice and stuff. And Nene was just kind of like, you know, I need time to think about this before we go back to
and
what
then
we were.
Kenya was interfering a lot. Like it was as if they had called her to come in and play psychiatrist and stuff for us. So even in the diary room, they were like, she needs to be quiet. And somebody had really need to say that to her face, not behind her back. But Portia went to the bathroom, by the way, speaking of shade, and then Kenya got up to go. She said, I'm going to go to the other bathroom. And then Nene said, yeah, go to the other bathroom, the men's room.
Oh, yeah, oh my God. I'm like, wow.
Right, when she laughed off. I can see Nene want to take some time and think it through, but she is in a way, to me, and I'm a huge Nene supporter, like Cynthia has done so much more to her than what she's done. And I think it's been a mutual confusion.
Yep.
I'm not saying one is worse than the other one, but Nene was saying it'll be about 2 years before they go to lunch together.
Yeah, that's unreasonable.
That's not even realistic. And Nene knows that because she couldn't even stay away from Kim that long. So please, y'all don't believe that. So they agree to disagree and to take their time and work on the friendship. So then it's now Cynthia and Portia time.
Yeah.
So they get lost in a full-on back and forth argument over something petty. I don't really know. There's more to it than what we see, because they were arguing about this much of an argument about Portia being late.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. And then they showed a little clip of it. So Portia actually didn't have time to apologize, because right away Cynthia was trying to be all slick and snippy. Just what she wasn't with Nene on that very night, by the way. But the girls, Nene and Kenya, was trying to break it up and all of that. And then we got the old okie doke from Bravo. They show us Kenya getting up, walking over to Portia's side.
We're thinking it's fight part 2, and she wasn't coming lovingly either. She was kind of bowing up on Portia, and we're thinking going to fight number 2.
Right. But it ends up happening that we go to commercial and we come back. Kenya wants to hug it out with Portia, because it ended up that Portia and Kenya got a chance to, I guess, kind of talk their thing about, and it was dishonesty laden. I'll tell you why. And it's because Kenya was saying she'd take responsibility. Portia didn't say that at all. Her thing was, if you will take responsibility, then we can hug it out.
Right.
But then behind the scenes in the diary room, Kenya's like, well, the one who got the most power is the one speak up and take responsibility. So it was still some dirtiness, and that's going to show itself later on.
It will.
Who you are is going to show out sooner or later. I didn't really feel the hug was a little fake, forced, quick, and I didn't feel.
Yeah, it didn't feel real. Neither one of them apologized at all. Well, Kenny did. Well, I'm sorry. Can we be done? She did like that, the quick thing. So I don't know what they're gonna do now. Neither one of them, I don't think, fully took responsibility for their actions during that night. So we still got more.
I don't think they're ever gonna really be friends. I think forgiveness is personal. I'm going to forgive myself the way I behave. I'm going to forgive that person. They don't even have to be in my presence. And then I'm going on with my life. And yes, I can talk with you. No, I don't want to have tea or sandwiches with you or anything like that. But I definitely can be courteous and polite and all that. I didn't see any of that kind of thing go on. It was all for the camera, because these ladies have no storyline. Claudia, by the way, had her mama and granny come up. Her mother was Italian, white. I don't know why she wants to say that. She was white, and the grandmother was black. And the grandmother said she was turned up already. She was 90.
Yeah. She was vibrant. She was
right, very much so. But mama was kind of dull and talking about why they never said I love you and stuff. That was very dull. There's the thing, though. It used to be about the ladies had to have a storyline. Nobody has a storyline.
No.
Claudia with her mama and granny, that is not a storyline.
No, it's not.
Kenya walking around in an empty building where she ain't going to be $5,000 or $1,500. No, that's not going to jump off. To do what? Just sit up in there. She ain't got nothing going on.
Calling herself
a mogul. What the fuck is a mogul? You ain't got 2 pennies to rub together. Then we got old Brandon standing up with her. I don't know why. He's still hanging in there. I guess he get a little piece of check.
Yeah.
Nene's got her Broadway things going on. That's good.
Yeah.
But when it comes to on the show, there's nothing. There's nothing for her to do, unless she's got a curtain call or something. But there's nothing going on with her. There's nothing going on with anybody. I mean, if the Bailey agency was hot and jumping, she wouldn't have time for all these get-togethers and luncheons and gossip fest. She'd be at her office doing this thing, that thing. Her phone would be popping off with people calling for appointments. So I don't see any of that. Phaedra, she was out to lunch with her mom. I could see that as a Sunday thing.
Yeah.
And she had some time alone with the kids. But I don't see anybody doing anything. I don't see Kandi doing anything. I see big furniture, big houses, big desks, no big careers to go along with this. So it's acting. I hope you guys know that. It's if you buy into it as real, then you're gonna be highly disappointed in it. And you're never gonna see their lives full and fulfilled like real life.
Exactly.
But that's ours for today. We went 20 minutes. I think that's good. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much good. I think we went as much as detailed as we could on this episode. It's quite boring except for the ending. So, yeah.
Good night.
All right, night.